Liberal teen challenges Karoline Leavitt to a guitar battle, but her talent leaves him speechless. The crowd gathered in the town square, buzzing with excitement as the impromptu stage was set. The challenge had been issued, and now it was time to see who would reign supreme. On one side stood Jason, a liberal-minded high school senior, his electric guitar slung over his shoulder, confidence radiating from his every move. On the other stood Karoline Leavitt, conservative commentator turned unexpected guitar virtuoso, her fingers already tapping out an impatient rhythm on her own instrument. It had all started with a casual online exchange. Jason had mocked Karoline's political stances, throwing in a jab about how he doubted she had any real talent beyond talking points. To his shock, she had responded with a video of herself shredding a lightning-fast solo. In disbelief, Jason challenged her to a live guitar battle, never expecting her to accept. But she did, and now here they were, guitars in hand, ready to duel. The rules were simple. Each player would get 3 rounds to impress the crowd, and in the end, the audience would decide the winner. Jason went first, launching into an electrifying solo that showcased his technical skills and improvisation. His fingers danced across the fretboard as he channeled the spirit of rock legends past. The crowd roared its approval, and he smirked as he stepped back, gesturing for Karoline to take her turn. Without hesitation, she lifted her guitar and let loose a flurry of notes that sent chills down the spines of those listening. Her fingers moved with effortless precision, weaving a melody so intricate and soulful that even Jason had to admit she was good, really good. Round after round, they pushed each other to greater heights, blending rock, blues, and even classical influences into their playing. Jason, who had entered the battle with a mix of bravado and skepticism, found himself grinning, swept up in the sheer thrill of the competition. By the final round, the audience was torn. Both competitors had given their all, and the energy in the air was electric. Then, with a knowing look, Karoline launched into an iconic guitar piece, effortlessly replicating a Van Halen solo that left the audience in stunned silence. Jason, his pride momentarily forgotten, could do nothing but watch in awe. As the last note rang out, a moment of stillness passed before the crowd erupted into cheers. Jason, swallowing his initial frustration, walked over to Karoline and extended his hand. "All right, I admit it," he said with a grin. "You're incredible. I didn't see that coming." Karoline shook his hand, smiling. "Never underestimate your opponent," she said playfully, "especially when it comes to rock and roll." Though the battle was over, a new respect had been forged. Sometimes, music could bridge the deepest divides, even if just for a night. As the crowd began to disperse, Jason couldn't shake the adrenaline that still coursed through his veins. He had never expected to lose, not like this, not to someone he had written off so quickly. He had always assumed that politics and music existed in separate realms, but here was proof that talent knew no ideology. As he slung his guitar over his shoulder, he found himself walking toward Karoline once more.
"Hey," he called out.
She turned, raising an eyebrow. "You really took me by surprise tonight. That was insane. Where'd you even learn to play like that?" Karoline chuckled, adjusting the strap of her guitar. "Would you believe me if I said I spent my teenage years locked in my room practicing instead of partying?" She smirked. "Music has always been my thing. Politics just happened to follow." Jason nodded slowly. "I get that. I mean, I thought I was good, but you just," he shook his head. "You wiped the floor with me." She laughed. "Oh, come on. You were amazing too. You had the crowd in your hands." "Maybe. But that last solo." Jason exhaled dramatically. "That was next level." For a moment, there was silence between them, a mutual understanding passing in the space that had once been filled with competition. The night air was cool, the streetlights casting a warm glow over the town square. Then, almost hesitantly, Jason spoke again. "So, what if we did something together?" He glanced at his guitar, then back at her. "I mean, instead of battling, what if we played together sometime?" Karoline tilted her head, considering. "You mean like a jam session? Or something more?" Jason shrugged. "Maybe a jam session to start. But who knows? Maybe we make a video. Maybe we blow up online. Political opposites unite over guitar. That kind of thing.
Could be cool.
She studied him for a second before breaking into a grin. You know what? I like that idea. It'd be nice to remind people that music doesn't care about party lines. Jason smirked. So, truce. Truce. Karoline extended her hand once more, and this time, when Jason shook it, there was no hint of rivalry, just the start of something new. A few days later, their collaboration video hit the internet. The two of them, side by side, blending their styles in a flawless harmony that left the online world buzzing. The title? Enemies on paper, rock stars in reality. Within hours, the video went viral, flooding comment sections with amazement. Some people couldn't believe their eyes, while others saw it as a refreshing break from the usual political divides. Fans from both sides agreed on one thing: music had brought together two unlikely rivals, and in doing so, had struck a chord deeper than any debate ever could. As Jason and Karoline sat back, watching their video rack up views, he turned to her with a smirk. Looks like we might have started something. Karoline laughed. Guess we better keep playing. And so, from a battle of competition came a partnership of harmony, one that would remind the world that, sometimes, the best way to settle differences was simply to make music together.